So we're in day 6 and things are coming along. But as I mentioned the last time where I kind of left off, this obviously has some plans for Simeon. What are those plans? Like I mentioned, I think I kind of have an idea where this is going to go. Is it going to get to that? I guess we're going to find out. I pushed the door firmly and entered. Okay. I forgot about these guys. But obviously, I think it's going to be a minute before we get there. Simeon, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen him, so I usually kind of give him kind of a high energy type voice, but yeah, I kind of came down with a little cold. Nothing really to it though. And no, it's not the coronavirus. Some of you gotta wonder. It's just a normal cold. When I get colds, I don't get around people though. That's the thing about me. I'm not the type that'll spread germs. You wouldn't have to worry about me infecting anybody. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny on that. Electronics said a bit ominously, glancing up from some contraption he had been poking with a screwdriver. Slavia sent me. I know. And? What? The second door opened and Shurk came in. Simeon. Oh boy. He greeted me in the same tone Electronic had. Really? He doesn't. This guy's Russia never changes except for the one time he was back there, right? The only time, right? Other than that, this is usually the expression he always has. Well, I was last time I checked. I joked. So what do you need from me? We have an important task for you. I'm listening. The nurse came by. The nurse came by yesterday. He stopped as if he was going to continue. And? So? I asked carefully. So, we have an important mission for you. I got that already. You were to deliver a package to her. Package? Can't you do that yourselves? Your friend is right over there. Excuse me. I said skeptically. We can. Electronics said surprised. What a weird couple indeed. I see. Not another heavy bag, I hope. No, nothing like that. He smiled. Alright, fine. I carefully agreed. Hold on. Shurk disappeared through the door and soon came back holding something wrapped in paper. Just be careful. Alright. I took the package. If the pioneers weren't passing me the key to the pearly gates, it still looked like they were at least giving me the Olympic torch. There I go. What a comment that was, reading that. Of course, Electronic said threateningly. Just be careful. Shurk pleaded. Oh man. Outside, I took a good look at the package. They never told me not to open it. Although it would make sense to go further on. Okay. I quickly walked to the square and, making sure nobody was following, slipped into the forest. I just stood there for a while, indecisive, looking at the package. Okay, I wondered. What's in it? Why is it so important for them? Good idea. Why couldn't they take it themselves? Probably scared themselves. I had a lot of questions. I opened the package and saw a bottle of Solichnaya vodka? I probably just botched that too. This word right here, I don't even know what that says. But I tried pronouncing it. Well, so what? Pioneers bringing a bottle of vodka to the nurse. Or rather, I'm doing it for them. Happens every day. Well, not with these guys, but that was the first. I wrapped the bottle back up and scratched my head. This isn't weird anymore. This is just stupid. So stupid I couldn't think of one intelligent theory. I stood there for a while longer and thought I shouldn't let such a wonderful chance slip away. I quickly walked to the camp leader's cabin. I mean, it was slobby to kind of ask you to go there. You could have turned it down easily. I don't know. You didn't, though. Thank God Olga Dmitrievna wasn't there. I snuck aside and began to ruffle through the contents of the table drawer. Soon the vodka was in a soda bottle. while in its place was some water for the plants. And with my clever plan, I went out and skipped along the way to the infirmary. Seriously, what is so wrong about that? They almost got me into a trap. If the camp leader had seen me, if anyone else had, I could have managed myself. So it was absolutely nothing. I'm sure it was not nothing, though. You just don't know what's in it, do you? I gathered all my strength and knocked on the infirmary door. Hello, Pioneer. Hello, I have a package for you. A bottle for your armpit. I mean, a package for your cabin. What? Who puts a bottle in their armpit? I mean, unless if you're carrying it that way. Guess you could, but that'd be kind of a strange place to put it, I would think. And by the way, since a few of you subs are kind of new, I kind of gave this nurse kind of a, I don't know, I mentioned if this person had a voice actor, I can imagine it would be somewhat of a seductress kind of voice. Not really the best at that, but I usually try. I don't know. That's the only type of voice I try to give her. It's usually like calm, pleasant, but almost kind of just something like you could kind of picture it as like, you know, this character is some type of porno set or something. I don't know. Just something that comes to mind with some type of, you know, cheap 80s porn music or something, you know. I don't know. She said, "Hand it over." I handed her the package. The nurse stuffed it into the desk drawer without looking. "You didn't open it, did you?" "Yeah, he did." "Of course not." I blurted out. "Good boy." My God. But you did kind of, didn't you, though? Alright, so I'll be... Go, Pioneer. My God. I closed the door behind me and let out a sigh. And the other reason I kind of gave her a voice like that is because she's kind of mysterious out of the whole camp. You know, you compare her to the rest of them, she definitely looks less human than the rest. Two different color eyes. But I think it kind of is what makes her interesting, too, though. You know, you don't see her a whole lot, but on occasion, it's like, you always kind of wonder what's going on with her. Like, if she knows more, right? Knows more what's going on there. It's kind of interesting that he doesn't really ask her questions about the old camp things back there. That'd be kind of interesting. I think she would actually know something on that. I could always pin this on the crazy inventors, and in my situation, I could really use even the most basic form of stress relief. I came to the square. The clock showed noon. That meant dinner was coming. I sat on the bench with the solid intention of not moving from here until the come and get it all bell soon comes. Pioneers were running by. They were smiling and shouting merrily. Yes, the day was definitely a wonderful one. I glanced over the square and saw Lena approaching. Oh. Relaxing. Something like that. She sat by me and looked at the sky. They really are kind of playing out this little somewhat love triangle kind of going on. It's kind of interesting, as I mentioned the last part when they started the whole argument where all this kind of began. You know, I'm warming up to it now. I mean, I'm fine with it now. I still say that it seems kind of a little bit forced to kind of do it this way, but since I'm kind of already this far into it, might as well read the rest of the way, right? Kind of thing. I'm just hoping that it plays out a little different in Lena's route. If it's going to be a little similar, it's not going to feel all that great by the time I get to there. So we'll see on it, though. Nice day, huh? It is. It was a bit awkward. Lena seemed different. She was not embarrassed. Her face was not red. She was confident. So, about that conversation. I told you everything already. Yeah, but just forget it. If you say so. We sat for a little longer in silence. I just can't. Not like that. So, what do you think about Alyssa? She said, ignoring my inquiry. What do I think about Alyssa? I repeated, lost in thought. I don't really know. Why? You're just so worried about yesterday. Yeah, you know, it's got a point there. You did kind of go out of your way to try to find out what was going on with that argument. But at one point, it doesn't look like he was kind of sticking up for her. I mean, Lena here, I should say. And not necessarily with... Because if I recall how the argument even gone, the conversation anyway, he had thought maybe she did, Alyssa did something to her to kind of upset her. Because, it's the way she is, right? The way he kind of looks at her anyway. Well, of course, but what does that have to do with it? There's an indirect connection there. Boy, oh boy. She laughed. Let's assume. So what? Well, and again, I started thinking. If after all this time, you really don't have a clue of what you think of her, you don't really belong with the girl. That's just how I would think of that person in real life, if that was me. But I'd be like, hey, I see something with you, even if you don't see it, though, Really, what do I think of her? I mean, on certain occasions, I can see where maybe he's thinking of her personality a little bit, but he didn't really get that she had some intentions of why she was doing things all that time. The whole locking him up in the dorm thing, even though she kind of went about everything, it's like, I don't know, a part of her seemed like she wanted to get some type of pleasure out of him getting caught. Like, just something about it, like, what if he gets caught there? Like, it just something was with her. Maybe it was something she wanted. Now, she also kind of did it because she lost a stupid card game, which I still said was kind of funny on that. But still, something prompted her to do it in the first place. She obviously felt comfortable enough to say, you know what, I could actually do this with this guy. But she didn't realize that he figured out, okay, I can get out a window over here. She didn't assume that. She didn't think of the window, did she? She can be arrogant sometimes. Yeah, that's right. What else could I say? Now that I think of it, I don't know Alyssa at all. The way she acts does annoy me sometimes. If you were wondering if I had any negative feelings about her, then no. I mean, she gets carried away, but everyone has their quirks. Lena stared at me. Really? Did I say something wrong? No, not really. See, this is where I would say she's not really being honest either. It's like, that's what I mean, where it's like, when he when I end up doing her route, I could see how he's gonna always misinterpret, thinking that she just kind of always just has just a good side. I'm not saying, well, we all have, like, I wouldn't say a bad side to her, but I always say it's like, a person is like a mixed bag kind of thing, right? You have positives about you, always, and then there's some negatives, that's always with us, right? We're humans, it's just, this is the way it is, Yeah. She laughed out loud one more time just before the lunch bell. Ah, come on, phone. Jeez. Town came. Alright, see ya. I didn't stop her, although I had a lot of questions left. I mean, I recall, it's kind of interesting they used Lena and Slavia's route the last time. Like, she had nothing to do with Slavia. And it was interesting that she had a different expression when it came to Alyssa here, though. It was more like, it was almost like she was telling him, like, if you don't get this girl, she gonna pass you up and you're gonna regret it. Like, she had quite an angry face, if I recall. And it was like, it was kind of in the dark, too, a little bit, if I remember. I would have to actually go back to my playlist, which I don't really... the only time I watch videos that I put up on YouTube is when I do a little bit of playback for the early part of my video, just to see how the audio did. Usually, if I don't like it, I usually kind of redo the video and then re-upload it, in case the audio's usually... But most of the... once I check it, but about the first 5 minutes, that's usually all I do. After that, it's all you guys. Not that I have a problem with it, but I use a secondary channel for that, secondary account that I don't really have a YouTube channel on. It's just something I just use just to browse YouTube with, but it's really nothing to it, But how do I ask them? And and should I? I got up and slowly shuffled to the canteen. There were only a few spots left, so I had to sit with electronic assured. Did you deliver it? Yeah. I answered lazily, poking my fork at the buckwheat cashew. No accidents. No accidents. What was in there anyway? You didn't open it, did you? He stared. No. For some reason I kind of thought he did. Great. Finishing my meal, I went out. Makes me curious what actually was in it, though. I was struck by a sudden yawn. Taking a nap would be a bad idea. I headed to the camp leader's cabin. I felt like the summer sun was going to melt the whole planet, together with all its inhabitants. There was nowhere to hide. The sunlight seemed to reflect from every surface. Looking up, you risked going blind. Using my last bit of strength, I pulled the door handle, entered the room, and fell under the bed. Of course, I wouldn't expect the cabin to be really cool, but it was much better than outside. Blissfully, I stretched out on the bed and closed my eyes. It'd be funny if Lissa just suddenly just came out of nowhere and was on top of him, right? I'm not trying to be that way. Just, I can picture her just kind of like, doing something kind of crazy, though. You know how she is. Just something that came to mind. Like, as soon as he opened his eyes, you got a person just staring at you. That, just something about it to be, you could take it how you want it, but there's two ways you can look at it. It could either come across as sexual, or it could be pretty downright creepy, depending on who's looking at you, right? Somebody kind of looking at me while they do that, I would probably get more creeped out rather than the other way around. That's just kind of the way I am. I don't know. But something just kind of came to mind with her anyway. Here's another theory, a solution to the problem of how I got here. Here is an explanation of what's going on here. One of all those inhabiting this place. I remember Lena saying, "What do you think about Alyssa?" Seriously, what do I think of her? And he already is. What can I think of a person I've only known for a few days? I mean, you could think of a few things. I mean, I don't know. She's kinda, well, there's a few things you could think of, right? Can I just draw conclusions based on a couple of words and deeds? Although her deeds. I laughed a bit. I could tell you're a little bit dense. That's the only thing I know. We saw this guy anyway. Any relevant organization would draw the right conclusion based on the monument bombing. Still, though, I don't care. Maybe I really don't think anything of it. Can one be interested in a person who's not interested? No, that's some sort of an absurdity. I knock on the door. Coincidence, right? I'm in. I was too lazy to get up, so I just sat up a little bit. Who'd you think it was gonna be? The door opened and I saw Alyssa. What a sad face. What a coincidence. Yeah, but this isn't our usual expression we see from her, though. She stopped, unsure, stared at me for a couple of seconds. I guess you were looking for the camp leader? Why would she, though? Why would she come to your cabin if she was looking for her? I'm pretty sure she would be the first person on her mind. No. What's up, then? I was looking for you. Yeah. She sounded calm and unaggressive at all. I caught myself thinking I was not afraid of her and had no concerns, but she behaved like that normally. What for? I want to make everything clear. She sat on the bed across from me. Okay. What exactly? I want to clean up my misunderstandings or miscommunications. Alright, I'm up for that. Have you spoken with Lena today? Yes. About what? Nothing really. You're lying. Looks stiff and worried. She crossed her legs and bit her lip. You do understand, I've always assumed to be guilty whenever anything happens. Well, you are always guilty. I thought thoughtlessly. I said. A spark flashed in her eyes, but she kept talking calmly. Maybe. But in this case, me and Lena were always like that. Even if she starts something, she's all innocent and I take all the blame. Excuse me. Today is not really a good day for my voice. Earlier, it's like when I posted the video earlier today, I was fine. It's like, I don't know. I had some chicken at about like 8 o'clock, somewhere around there, right? Because for me, it depends. I eat whatever, so it's like dinner for me is like uh, I'm lucky if I usually eat like twice a day because I'm not really that big of an eater. I don't know. For some reason, after that, next thing I know, my voice was getting hoarse. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's not the chicken because like I was fine, but the weather has been like off and on. Like yesterday, it was like pretty nice out, depending on what state you're in. Today it was cold as shit, right? Uh, and that's kind of weird because like we're kind of approaching into like the spring months now. Well, early spring, I would say that since we're in March, it's like the early part of it. But still, you're. What I always say, you're not completely out of winter. It's true. You're not. We're not completely out of winter yet, but it's like those days kind of spring up on you. So I think that's probably where it's coming from. I had to go to the store a few times during the day. That kind of sucks, and you don't really want to, but you kind of have to just to stock up on a few things. Yeah. So that's kind of what I think my voice has gotten like that. I don't know. Earlier, before that, I was just fine, and then from 8 o'clock on, it's like I'm just kind of sitting here. So I should just go to bed, just wait till the next day. Maybe I could just post another video or post this video anyway. I figured, well, you know what? I'm not doing much anyway. It's not like I'm sick. It's just like you kind of hear my voice. And it's like, it don't sound too good, but I'm just rambling anyway. Because we got a serious conversation here, so let's go with this. But yeah, I see where she's coming from, though, anyway. So you're saying that Lena... Actually, I don't really know what you're saying. You never understand anything, do you? No, he really doesn't. But you also don't really explain your feelings to him either. You guys, even Lena kind of does it in her own way. She dances around things too a little bit. It's almost makes you wonder who rubbed off on who, though. It's like, did Alyssa rub off on Lena, or was it the other way around? I'm not really sure, you know. Because since they kind of grew up together, it makes you think, you know. This is strange. I wouldn't call myself slow. So explain. No, you're just dense. You do know Lena likes you. She went red after those words. Okay. No. I answered truthfully. And at least you're thinking this in your mind. You don't know that. Well, now you do. Now I do. An uncomfortable silence overtook the room. I was proceeding what she said, and Alyssa seemed unsure of how to continue the conversation. Lena likes me. Could I ever have guessed? Well, obviously, since I'm trying to do Alyssa's route here, no, it's a little bit. I mean, it's not really surprised that much to me, though. But obviously, since I didn't really do much pursuing for on my end as far as making choices for her, yeah, it's a little bit, you know, kind of throws you off a little bit. But, you know, not really anything to it, though. With him, though, I'm not really dense like this guy, though. I could figure it out eventually. Unlikely. My intuition is usually good, but when it's about me and my feelings, it does not work at all. The weirdest thing was, I accepted the news with almost no worries. Right at the moment I was listening to Alyssa, I was focused only on her. I could think about the rest later. And she thinks I'm going to stay away from her. Huh. She thinks that all the time, understand? Even though it's always the other way around. Everyone looks at her because she's such an angel. Nobody pays any attention to me. Oh my goodness. For them, I'm just a shoulder to cry on. My God. Jeez. I never see that side of you. Boy. It's like, talk about giving Lena back there a hug when somebody left a comment the last time. Boy, these tears make you want to give her a bigger hug. Jeez whiz. It's like, is there something we don't know about there? Seems like you're trying to push him towards Alina. It's what it seems like to me, or at least that's what I'm getting here. And but at the same time, I'm on your route, so it's like, oh man, what a trip this is, you know? It's like, it's a weird feeling to go through these type of scenes, but I'm reading it. Let's just start screaming. I don't see screaming, but maybe she's talking in a certain way, I'm guessing. Look, Please don't get so upset. I don't think of you like that. Of course. I still had no idea what forced her to be so honest. And I didn't know how to react. Moreover, I was not worried at all. It was like I was watching another episode of some TV series, and what was going on in the room was the other side of the screen. Sometimes I wish I could knock this guy upside his brain a little bit for some of the things that he thinks in his brain. I don't know. It's like, where did that come from, Semyon? I don't know. I understand there was a reason for all of it. But today, Lena said it was okay. That's just like her. You probably realize that she's not as quiet as she wants to seem. I'd started to guess. If I could do anything. Tell me. Alyssa raised her eyes. Is this where I go to get to make a choice here? Only then did I see she's been crying. Or does the game just play out on its own? Guess I'll find out. Some sort of worry stirred inside of me. Okay. I could not treat this conversation like I was an outsider anymore. Do you like Lena or do you like me? I guess you should have expected a question like that. But I just wasn't ready. To be honest, if I was in a situation like this, I would... It depends on where my feelings were, though. If I only liked both of them just casually as a friend and there was nothing more to it, I would just break off the relationship with either one. Because then, like, I don't know, it depends. I would hate to be in that type of spot, like, where you had to make a choice like that. But it only depends on, like, who you're, you know... Now, if you're close to them, that makes things even more, you know... would make things even more awkward because now you're forced to make a different choice, and depending on who you choose in the end, you don't know if you're making the right choice in the long run, right? You just never know how that would go. I don't know, you know, just like that. Lena is nice, of course, but Alyssa has her good points as well. Besides, the way she was at the moment, she could seriously compete with Lena. I don't really know you two at all. A question like that, it's difficult to answer directly. If I could say no, I would have, at that very moment. But I only had one chance for the other answer as well. And I didn't know what to choose. You did want the situation to resolve itself. Of course, but... Why? But again. Why again? Why? Why? Look, we're going nowhere with this. Well, answer then. Her face fell back into its usual bold arrogance. I need time to think. Well, go ahead and think. Alyssa stood up abruptly and headed out. Don't forget, we have plans for tonight. Oh my. Well, I kind of thought those plans were going to be coming, but this kind of took me off by surprise. I didn't expect this serious conversation, but it's interesting either way. I mean, I always say you don't really have to throw me an H scene right away. I like a good amount of plot too, though. We're getting at a little bit here. She sat on the threshold, smiling. The only thing I don't like, though, and this has nothing to do with this visual novel here, but some of you guys might know about Katawa Shoujo. And while I like the visual novel, I played it a few times. I didn't always like how they did the H scenes. Like, I don't mind H scenes in visual novels, but you could tell when they're, like, unnecessary to use at times. Like, it depends on the situation, right? On occasions, like where the story kind of calls for it type of thing. But in that one, because you have, you know, the students there, they all have some type of disability, right? So because they're all in the school for, like, I don't know, you know, different reasons. Certain ones, the protagonist comes on to the girl and it becomes so awkward, and they all happen out of random. I think the only a couple of them actually were okay. I think a few with Emmy. Some of you guys know about her. The one where they get into some place, I can't remember where it was. I think it was in some storage shed, right? He ends up doing her in there, right? And instead of doing it, because they're just starting out, right? They never did anything before. First thing they try is anal. And I'm like, okay, unless you know what you're doing with that, don't You know, like you might break something in him or even her. You never know, right? Just kind of rambling again. I don't know. Plans, what kind of plans? But the one with Rin, though, Rin's route is the one that really gets to me, though. That is just, it just, with her route, it gets so daggone depressing. And a scene with her actually plays out when she hits rock bottom, basically. And he just comes in, like Hasao comes in to the art room where she was at, right? And they just get into something. And I don't know, it's like, how does that scene even play out? It's like, but if I do that visual novel, I might do that on this channel, but I don't know yet. I'm kind of doing this one right now, so if I do it, I'll do it after I do this VN, but we'll see on it. If you guys would like to see the VN, let me know. Otherwise, this is pretty much the only one that I'm doing up here, as far as I know. I don't have access to too many other ones. There's a few visual novels in the Google Play Store I could probably take a look at. If you guys know of any out there, I don't know. There's If My Heart Had Wings, but the version that they have in the Google Play Store, though, doesn't have the voice acting. So, I mean, not that I need voice acting in every one of those, but even the Steam version of that game, they also stripped out the, although you could get different versions of that game, but still, the fact that they take the voice acting out is a little bit weird on that one. Not really sure why they did that. The talk with Alyssa left a heavy impression on me, so Lena likes me. On its own, the news could shock and startle, and I above that was also forced to make a choice, a difficult one to put it mildly, and any choice I would make would be a mistake for someone. If only I could refuse them both. Although I didn't like the word refuse itself. If I could just answer her question with a no, it would be easier. But I knew it couldn't work like that. Obviously not. After I talked to Alyssa, I realized nothing would ever be the same again. It can't be, no matter what happens. After that crying and that face, you don't really see that, do you? No way. Can't be, no matter what. Oh yeah, and I'll have to make a decision. Since I rejected the no scenario, I needed to pick a positive solution. So since you already made enough choices, my guess is he's gonna come down with Alyssa. What's gonna happen with Lena? I hope we don't play out a similar scenario where Lena goes off and does what I think she does. Boy, oh boy, that's gonna be a little bit hard to swallow on that one, right? Since, yeah. But I was sure that out of all the possible outcomes, there's one that won't justify everyone, but would also be the one that I want to strive for. And the choice seems obvious. Lena. Really? So you're actually going to go with that, but we didn't make good choices to get on her route, so how are you going to think that? She's pretty, she's cute, she's kind. Okay, but then again, there was something about Alyssa that attracted me. Okay. Oh boy, suddenly the door flew open and Olga came in. Go figure. I heard the sound effect before you even mentioned it. Lounging around again, huh? Just resting. It's so hot out there. Go and help Slavia. She was asking around. Where? I asked lazily. On the sports field. Reluctantly, I got up and headed out. I should really air my brain out anyway. There were a lot of people at the sports ground. Some were playing football, others were playing badminton. Younger kids were just chasing each other. Semyon. Slavia walked up to me. You require my assistance? I asked, all official-like. Yeah. Listen, did you take the infirmary key? No. Why me again, anyway? Well, you were there a lot recently. I guess she is right. You talk about the infirmary key way back there, if I recall. You kind of let him in the one time you let him in there. I believe that you left the key in there, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe she just... Unless you're talking about something else. I don't know. Maybe you know who did. No, why? The nurse came up to me to ask for my key. You know, that I have a key to every building in the camp. She said hers went missing, Could she have lost it? I shrugged. No, she said she couldn't have. I don't know, okay. Okay. She smiled a little. I headed to the camp leader's house, determined to get some sleep after all. Olga Dmitrievna wasn't there, thank God, so I fell on the bed and lost consciousness. Okay, so this is probably where I'm going to call it a part. So I thought maybe, okay, I'm going to come in here, get into one of those. But it turned out to be a little more serious than that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm sure it's coming. Because we're in day 6 now, and then day 7 is going to come to the conclusion of her route. So whatever that's going to come, I have no idea. But they did show Alyssa on the computer screen, so I do believe I'm in her route at least. Because you have to have enough points to be on someone's route, I think. But I think for a good ending, I think you have to have... I think every character needs at least 8 or 9 points or something like that for you to get a good ending for everyone. It's kind of weird how they do that. It's like... So what happens if you miss like 1 point, you get a bad ending for everybody? How does that work? It's like, damn, it's like, where'd you miss a point somewhere that you didn't know of, right? I don't know. It's kind of funny how that works, though. It's kind of funny how Miku doesn't have those, though. Same thing with Eula and Xenia. They don't go by a point system, although you still have to make choices for them to get on their routes. Basically, you pretty much ignore all the main heroines in this case, but still, it's kind of interesting how they did set it up that way, which is going to make Miku's route for me a lot easier because I'm used to doing visual novels that way, usually. Well, obviously, I've gotten used to this one now, obviously, after playing Slavia's thing and now on Alyssa, but still, it's interesting how they did it, but... So either way, hope you guys enjoy this part for now. Probably try to give it a few days before I put up another part. I won't put them up as so random, but since I'm getting close to the end, might as well just finish it out, right? All right. And then, yeah, Ilyana will be next after Alyssa. I figured since I already did the coin toss between her, and then I'll figure out who I'm going to do between Lena and Miku for after Ilyana, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know yet. Since people were telling me that Alina has similar, kind of plays out similar to Alyssa's route, it's kind of another reason why I don't want to do two people that have similar, back and forth type of things. I like to kind of stretch them a little bit between each one. It's just the way I am anyway. Oh, whoop, I did not mean to click that. Oh, well, I could always save it anyway. All right, so other than that, I will see you guys next time.